What do you want to know more?
Like, what is really going on between you two?
Oh boy, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Jessie is finally gonna confront Jeniffer and Cacua about the true status of their relationship. We're finally gonna learn the truth.
Jeniffer said, would you like to have another call with Kaka? I said yes, because I want to make sure that things don't get lost in translation.
Kaka.
Kaka.
Cacao. I mean, the disrespect is too much. Cacua has clearly got under Jessie's skin. Now, if you've missed any of the Jeniffer, Jessie and Cacua story so far, I'll include links in my description down below for you to catch up. But in the last episode, we saw Jessie and Jeniffer reconcile after their misunderstanding, and over a romantic firelit meal, Jeniffer offered to set up a call between Jessie and Cacua so that before his vacation comes to an end, Jessie can finally ask the questions that have been playing on his mind. The thing is, Jeniffer was very worried about how this call would go.
But I'm afraid that things get a little bit out of control. Cacua may say things that are far from the truth just to make Jessie insecure about me. And if that happens, this can ruin our future.
So, with so much at stake, we join Jessie and Jeniffer in a new hotel room, ready to jump on a call with Cacua because Jessie finally wants to learn the truth.
To be honest, this is so confusing, and I don't know if everything is truthful.
But get this, while Jeniffer maintains she's been entirely truthful, for the first time she does admit that it might actually come down to a matter of interpretation. I mean, what really is sex? What does that word even mean?
I understand Jessie is bothered about the Cacua situation. But I've been truly honest with him that we didn't really had sex in the entire world.
Now, when you say I've been truly honest with him, I'm not sure that really stacks up. Let's just rewind for a second. First, she claimed she hadn't dated anyone in 3 years.
And for you, now I think you've been single for 3 years, right?
Yeah, I've been single for 3 years.
Then, when that turned out not to be entirely true and Cacua suddenly popped up, she changed her story to say, yes, well, Cacua and I kinda saw each other, but we were never intimate.
So there was no intimacy?
No, baby. There's nothing there.
Now she's kind of changed her tune. It's we haven't had sex in the entire meaning of the word. With so many changes to her story, you can certainly understand why Jessie has some questions. And look, he's already told us numerous times that trust is a really big deal for him, and in order for a long distance relationship to work, he needs to be able to trust her.
I just hope that we can close this chapter so Jessie can trust me when he leaves.
Ultimately, everything stands on trust. If my trust gets broken, that will be the end of it.
So, with so much riding on it, we come to the call itself.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Súper, estamos acá felices en Cartagena.
Hola, Cacao.
How are you? ¿Cómo estás?
Cacua.
I'm fine, and you?
I don't know if he did it deliberately, but for a second there, it really felt like Cacua was ignoring Jessie. And that level of pettiness really set the tone for what was about to come. So, after the awkwardness of those initial pleasantries, Jeniffer tells Cacua to be honest, tell Jessie everything, then she hands over to Jessie.
Yeah, so there's just a few things that don't seem to be adding up for me. And it seems to me that this friendship is a lot more than just friends. And what is really going on between you two? In the time that you guys were dating, there was no sex.
Just look at that smile on Cacua's face. It was at that exact moment that he knew his mind games had worked. Now, Jeniffer warned him, don't exaggerate, be honest, tell the actual truth. And here's what Cacua says.
Es cuando hay, no quiero ser específico, pero cuando hay intercambio de ADN, no sé cómo decirlo. Pero si ustedes se refieren a sexo como caricias, como intimidad, dormir juntos, abrazarse, besos, sí.
Okay, so keep in mind, Jessie doesn't really understand Spanish. Judging by Cacua's cocky body language, the smile on his face, the loud and prominent sí,
Sí.
plus the fact that Jeniffer is totally quiet, you can tell from his face that he's clearly jumping to conclusions, and he says to Jeniffer,
So, could you translate what he said?
He's saying that we didn't sleep together, that
Didn't or did?
We did sleep together, but not sex.
When Jessie presses her on what does that actually mean, she says,
That we kiss each other, that we hug each other, that we share some intimate moments, and that means many things, but never was ADN exchange.
which clearly confuses Jessie, and that leads to him asking,
So, you mean like oral sex?
I don't talk about that. Those things are personal. I don't want to get into those
I'm
issues.
telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth.
Even when Jeniffer is saying, no, I don't want to elaborate on that, Cacua seizes on his opportunity to say yes.
To get into those issues.
I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth.
He's determined to stick the knife in as much as he can. But when all is said and done, the truth is, if we believe them, that despite all his earlier bravado, they haven't actually had sex. At least, not to the dictionary definition of the word. Again, if they're to be believed, I'm not quite sure I fully believe it, but if they're to be believed, the fact he's managed to wind Jessie up so much without actually doing the deed is absolutely hilarious. That then leads to Jeniffer saying something that she may later regret, because clearly what she's about to say also plays on Jessie's mind, as we see later on.
He may insinuate things, but
Okay,
it's
oh, yeah.
personality, amor. He's horny all the time. He speaks like that. It's his personality.
Now, there's one last very important question that Jessie has for Cacua.
Okay, so last thing, right? So, just to be completely clear, right now, as of today, do you still have feelings for
¿Tú
my girlfriend?
sigues teniendo sentimientos por mi novia?
Of course, I will always, I will feel that.
And then, very abruptly, the call disconnects. I'm not sure whether Cacua does this deliberately, just to leave a few unanswered questions, just niggling away in Jessie's mind, or whether it's purely down to a bad internet connection. I'm not sure. Either way, Jessie still isn't 100% comfortable with what he's heard.
I have my reservations because it's still a weird story. They didn't have intimacy, then it was only oral. Kaka is just always horny. I don't want my best friend to be horny all the time when I'm with her. And I think he is still in love.
What's the outcome of all of this? Well, he's happy to have had the conversation, he's glad he's got some kind of clarity, but he wants Jeniffer to set boundaries, and he doesn't want to have to force her to do that.
What are the boundaries? I don't want to set the boundaries myself. I want Jeniffer to set those boundaries herself. Even though it might not be the answers that I want to hear, I still like it because he's honest.
And with those questions finally answered, we join Jessie and Jeniffer on their last day together on their way to the airport.
Are you gonna see Kaka?
Cacua? Well, he will be my friend, like always. But it's better to stay back from the situation.
Really?
See? I don't need to see Cacua.
Thank you.
And after gently guiding Jeniffer to telling him what he wants to hear about Cacua, he reveals to us all that he's convinced he's found the love of his life.
I really love Jeniffer. I've never felt such a strong, quick connection for someone before. Sexually, emotionally, and psychologically. And she's someone that I see myself with forever. So I'm gonna try to see each other as much as possible until we figure out, the whole wedding and living situation.
Wedding? I need to see a ring.
And as if that bombshell wasn't enough, if Jessie gets his way, it seems they may also be trying for kids.
Do you think Jessie wants children or?
He is very into getting me pregnant.
So sadly, Jessie's time in Colombia has come to an end, and Jeniffer is determined to give Jessie something to remember her by.
Gracias.
Come here.
What?
I have something for you.
Oh, shit. Oh my God, babe.
So you can take them.
That is so hot.
And with his present tucked in his pocket, they say one last emotional goodbye.
Love you so much, baby. Mucho, mucho.
These 2 weeks was beyond I ever expected. I never thought that I was going to fall in love, like so deep as I did. And I'm afraid because it's very difficult to date someone that is in the other side of the world. I just have to pray this is not the end.
What do you think, guys? Will this relationship stand the test of time? Is this the real deal? Or have they just been caught up in a whirlwind romance? Will Cacua come between them? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you've made it this far to the end of the video, do me a favour, hit that like button, and if you're not already, please consider subscribing for lots more 90 Day Fiancé videos. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.